Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Oladeluko and I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. It promises to be a very, very interesting one. First things first, wanted to tender a little bit of an apology as we have not been at the bar this week. It's not due to any technical issues. It's just that there have been quite a lot of out of station things that Boom Radio has got us doing. But we definitely could not let this week go without, showing our faces. And then there's like too much gist. All this gist cannot go to waste this week. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we're going to be talking about so many things. Of course, the front burner is what a lot of people are talking about. It is the issue of River State and the president's reaction to it. That is caused a lot of issues. And then the National Assembly's reaction to it as well. That was also caused a lot of lawmakers writing threads, sowing a lot of threads. A lot of shalaye has been going on for the past 24 hours, if I would say that. But there are quite a number of things to unpack on this River State issue that definitely we're going to be talking about. Also, NYSC saying that it's official at the end of this month, core members are going to be getting 77,000 naira. Also, Nnamdi Kanu is back in court. There are quite a lot of other things too that are happening that happened today and this week. Also, the Super Eagles are playing today. So this is going to be a very robust conversation today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. And you also know that you can now join the show via calls. Actually, you can send a message and or put a call through, and you could have a conversation about a particular topic we're talking about at the moment. And the phone number is 234-9161-637661. 234-9161-637661, and you will be speaking to us live in the studio. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. My name is Oladeluko, as usual, and with me in the studio is Shola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar again.
Okay, so we're diving right into the show today. First things first, of course, is River State. And like I said, there are quite a number of things to unpack. But for people that do not know, let's be a bit of a recap. The president, didn't start with the president. The governor and his house were fighting. They've been fighting for a couple of months. Then the governor demolished their building. Then there was a supposed announcement of moving from one party to another, or defection, or whatever it is, and the governor decided that these 27 people were going to become persona non grata, and they were not members of the house again, and the governor decided to run the government for over a year with first 4 people, then one person resigned, then it became 3 people. And this had been an issue for a couple of months, in fact over a year, and there's been back and forth. There've been court cases over court cases before the Supreme Court finally, and we know that Supreme Court is the final decision maker when it comes to Nigeria's judicial system. Then they get to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, you've been doing things wrongly, and you have to go back to the assembly. The assembly members are legal and all that. So that happened, and then we saw back and forth again from them, the assembly members saying they don't have time, or the governor coming unannounced, and back and forth before the president woke up one morning, and it was in the evening last week, and then up to last week, it was this week and then he said that there was state of emergency, and he was suspending the governor, the deputy governor, and the whole house. We were going on a 6-month suspension, and immediately appointed a sole administrator, and then 24 hours after, we're waiting for it had to be ratified by the National Assembly, and yesterday they did. So I think I can say that I've done a bit of justice to that conversation. So that is what brought us to where we are now. And there's been a lot of back and forth about it. First things first, before we get to, I think that we should start this conversation from after the president had announced. Or would we say, and why I said that we're going to probably have a robust conversation is that because all this week we have not been here. So there needs to be, a lot of conversation about it. First things first. Esther, would you say that the president, because now there was also a conversation about if the president was well within his right to do what he did? Or will I say, was he needed?
Well, good job at trying to, piece everything together, but missing out on one very important aspect of it, which is the pipelines that were blown up within the space of a couple of hours.
As well.
And the videos of militants, making threats to disrupt, the pipelines and the flow of crude to the refineries or the storage tanks and all of that. So definitely that was one of the things that escalated. Sadly, there was another accident in Abuja that same day in the evening, and I think it was a gas explosion in a truck.
It was.
And people were already thinking along that line, was it this same set of people that are now, going bunkers and stuff? But it looks like that has been nipped in the bud to a large extent. But I think that those were some of the things that might have triggered or gingered the president to say, what, we're going to evoke this. And people talk about if it was right or wrong. Well, it is in the Constitution. Now, it's in the interpretation of this Constitution that is bringing a lot of discourse. But I say to us that we always bring sentiments into virtually everything we do. But if we're guided by the law and the rules of engagement and the rules of the land, it will make things easier and clearer.
Okay.
So, yes, the president can call for a state of emergency to be enacted. To be honest, I never saw it coming from this president. I didn't think it was going to go that far with anybody, you get. But if you look at the way things were about to degenerate, the rhetorics being bandied about and everything was just on both sides of the divide now, all of them from the same PDP members in the state and in Rivers State. Then you say, okay, just maybe he had to do something drastic. Now, a lot of people have come out to say, and I don't know if this is fact-based or not, but a lot of people have come out to say that, oh, you know what? What he did was to protect the governor. That after he had given the governor the option of a political solution, where, according to people who claimed they were at the meeting in Aso Rock, that the governor agreed and that the only demand he made, according to these people who claim they were there, is that Governor Fubara said the people who have worked with him during the period of this crisis, that they should not be victimized. And that was agreed. Mm-hmm. But it looks like when he went back to Port Harcourt, he was convinced to jettison that agreement. So a lot of people will be like, look, the president had waded in, regardless of the party lines and everything, and this is what he came up with, and Governor Fubara went against it. And not only did he just go against it, of course, he looked like he was out or spoiling for a fight. He stopped paying the salaries of the assembly members.
For months.
He kept on, using his budget without approval by the larger house. How do you have three? I still say, how do you have three people? Three. And a whole lot of those things. And I think, in my opinion, too, looking at all the angles that people have brought to it, as I wish it wasn't a 6-month suspension, but I think that they had to do something to prevent.
So something drastic had to be done.
Yeah. But I don't know about the 6-month suspension, but I'm not comfortable with it. But if that's what it comes with when it comes to, it's still better than people losing their lives and a whole lot of things that could have happened.
So there's an update about the governor, or would I say former governor, suspended governor, putting up in Bayelsa that he's been housed with his family in the governor's quarters in Bayelsa. Just wanted to put that out.
Yeah, Bayelsa seems to be like the go-to place now. The current governor of Bayelsa has really been, out there when it comes to PDP matters in recent times. There was the talk of him, spearheading the organization of the South-South PDP regional meeting that they had, or they were planning to have a couple of days ago.
So now, still talking about this matter, because there are quite a number of things to unpack. After that, the next day, we saw the Attorney General of the Federation come out with a long press conference, very interesting, answered a few questions. In my books, the long and short of that press conference is that the president knew what he was doing, and it's also a warning to other people. You do anyhow, you see anyhow.
Yeah. So, but that's the same thing that people are now, contending, they are contesting. And of course, one of our headline stories is how 12 governors have come together now to say they.
Yeah, we're getting to that part.
Yeah. So if you said the president knew what he was doing, yes, from the president's angle, he seems to know what he was doing again, because when you make a proclamation like that, it is supposed to be ratified by the upper and lower house. Okay. And it was done 48 hours after.
Speaking about that, now the National Assembly had votes. Now we saw first the video from the Green Chamber, that's the House of Representatives. Then we saw the Senate. We saw there was a bit of rancor in the Senate earlier in that day, and then between the Senate President and Senator Seriaki Dixon, who had made some interesting. It was, I think, the Senate President was talking to him about his interview that he had the day before, and all that. Now, that voting pattern in itself, actually, if you're on social media, a lot of people had talked about how it wasn't never going to happen. The assembly was not going to give the president what he needed and all that. For example, we don't know exactly the number of people that voted in the Senate, but we know that there were 243 people in the House of Representatives. And after watching the video from both houses, it was voice votes and it was yay or nay. And I did not hear any nay.
Not a single person actually said nay.
Now, that in itself has also now caused a lot of conversation, saying that shouldn't there be a head count instead of yay or nay? I agree with the head count. However, the minute there's no nay, I don't think, even if you didn't even say yay, you were in the house and you didn't say yay, you could have said nay. I don't think there's anything like sitting on the fence when it comes to situations like this. Mm-hmm. And this has now seemed to have prompted quite a number of assembly members to, would I say, sow threads. What I mean by that is that today, Senator Seriaki Dixon had written something on Twitter where it was quite an epistle that he wasn't in the house, and after is the closed door session that he and Senator Abarebe and a few people left. Now, my question is, even if you knew the majority, you didn't agree with the president's angle, but you had majority, but the president seemed to have majority in the Senate. Isn't it funny that you think that not voicing your opinion or not saying nay, which probably would not have prompted a proper head count, other than just leaving and not, so that, because it seems like okay, you don't want to be in the bad books of the president, so that when they say, who voted nay? I didn't vote nay, I was just not in the house.
I don't think that is the reason why they walked away. Because it's actually a form of dissent when you refuse to vote. It is a form of dissent, and it happens a lot in the house when they have.
But they didn't walk away right there. We didn't see anybody storm out.
I'm responding to what you said. He said that Isheri Dixon that he didn't vote, that he left the chambers. Of course, that's another form of protest to say we're not going to be a part of this.
I think it's cowardly.
It's not necessarily cowardly. It's just another form of protest. Yes, it could be that, you know what, we know we're going to lose anyway, so let's just leave. But it could also be, I'm not going to be a part of this charade. I don't want to be a part of this. And whoever wants to walk out with me should walk out with me. But what this tells you really and truly is that the president had actually covered all the bases before he made that pronouncement. Yeah. What it tells you is that he had done some politicking, behind the scenes, and he must have known that he was going to get a majority.
In the House.
This happened a few months ago when he was pushing the tax reforms, the bills, there are about 4 of them. And there was this furor and all this noise about it. And they were like, he should withdraw it. And I said, I'm not going to withdraw it. Take it to the House. If the House shuts it down, I'll let it go. And then that bill has finally been passed now.
Yeah, of course, they
made some adjustments, but it's been passed now. Waiting for the.
And still talking about House of Assembly members or the National Assembly members. Senator Relocate Kingibe also has a thread that she had put out. She had put out a statement today talking about how she feels that there should have been a head count. My question again. Now, Senator Seriake Dixon explained that he was not in the House. In her statement, she didn't say she was not there. Or she wasn't. She just had a problem with how it was counted.
And maybe that's what the Constitution says.
And so the Constitution actually says that it depends on whatever. So it's not out of place that
for a voice
vote is not against the Constitution. My issue is why you wrote a whole epistle and you were in the House or not, we don't know. You did not say anything about it. Now you are now writing a statement after the fact. Please, what is the point of this statement?
So I think some of them might have been intimidated by the kind of response that they saw, and they just probably didn't want to.
That is cowardly.
Well, you can say that's cowardly. I could say it's being strategic.
Even if it's one person that has, because now she's not saying that she's against the. I actually read the whole statement. She didn't say she was for or against. All she had a problem with was the counting. So why didn't you insist that there should be a head count? Mommy, I don't understand, because everybody seems to want to be absorbing themselves.
If you had watched, I think, was it the Senate? Yeah, it was the Senate now. One of the senators, in the opposition, was talking about a quorum. We're trying to find out if, I think it was Senate or House of Reps, trying to find out if they had formed a quorum.
I think it was a Senate. It was in the Senate. And like I said, again, but she didn't say anything.
So
she wasn't there.
So what's the point? Head count would determine definitely that,
because I remember
out of 105 senators.
109.
108 senators, because one is dead.
Yeah. No, one is dead.
Yes, there's one senator. In fact, there are 2 senators gone. One is now a governor, and one is dead.
Okay, and then one is suspended.
Yeah, so 105.
106.
So that's why I said. I think I know why I said it earlier. So whatever it is, though, 106, they would have to have a certain number.
Oh yeah, I know that the Speaker of the House of Representatives had actually announced the number that was in the House. I did not hear the Senate President do that. I'm still saying that all this is not me. I wasn't there. Which I remember. Same thing goes for Honorable Bello El-Rufai, where he was asked if he voted or not, and he had said he had not been in the House in the past 10 days. However, people went to look for a picture of him with another House of Rep member the day before in the house. So that one itself, and I'm like, okay, why is everybody suddenly now? I was not in the house, so where was I? Oh, I was not really on this, so, and I'm like, okay.
So what I think is going on?
Y'all are just.
This is what I think is going on. So the House of Assembly, the upper and lower house, is majorly peopled by the APC.
Yeah.
And in recent times, they've grown stronger with. Sorry, please.
More people have
defections and all
gone.
of that.
Yeah.
So they have the majority.
Yeah, they do. They do.
The Labour Party, PDP, NMPP, SDP people
They've
in
really
the
been
house
depleted. Yeah.
feel like even if they all came together, they can't stop some of these bills from passing.
I agree, but at least you make your.
So that's on the one side. On the other side is some people, whether they're APC or not, or about to leave APC, as the case may be, they also want to have the buy-in of the crowd, the mass crowd on social media that does not support this government.
Yeah, it looks like
So there's a large chunk, and everybody just wants to have that buy-in. Like, oh, you know what? Oh, we didn't vote.
You didn't vote.
I didn't vote.
But there's, the
because
bills where you got passed because there's a majority.
Yeah, because
Let's
they
be dismayed.
they want to have their cake and eat it.
That's my point. Like,
You get so
this
there's a
issue
set of
has already been passed. And
parliamentarians who fall into that category.
it has already been passed, and you move on. Like, hello. Do you understand? Like, there's no need for all this shalaye. I think there's just too much shalaye at this point with these things. Anyway, before we leave this matter and we leave National Assembly, let's go to the governors. There are quite a lot of issues going on, picking up with this now. First things first, the governor of Oyo State had announced that the 12 governors of the PDP are going to challenge the president on this Rivers matter, basically the suspension of Governor Fubara. And I think is maybe if they can, I think is well within their rights. At this point, they probably are the only ones, or maybe Governor Fubara, or maybe they're the only ones that maybe have locus at this point to maybe not challenge, maybe approach the court to explain if it's possible or not.
Yes, that's still a challenge. That's still challenging. So there's no need to sugarcoat. The thing that I see here is it's really not about Fubara for these governors.
Yeah.
It's about themselves. It's about self-preservation.
Yeah, like, if this happens to one person...
Look, this guy in Abuja,
if
he can do this, that means he can do it to us too.
Oh, God.
So they
and the National Assembly seems to have his back.
they don't really like Fubara that much. You know, like they are fighting for Fubara. No, they're not. They're fighting for themselves. Because there are one or two governors who might fall into this Fubara category soon. One in the southwest, and I think one in the north. You know, when it comes to the way they have handled other arms of government, when it comes to the way they have handled matters that concerns the local government, for example, and their assemblies and all of that. So it's more like self-preservation. Like, you know what? I don't want this Abuja guy to come.
This guy is not even.
That's what I see.
It's not smiling.
Know? But the beauty of approaching the courts is that most times it gives us clarity.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
Most times
it helps.
It puts matters to bed.
Yes,
and
completely.
You're like,
and
this is done.
There's no back and forth around it. And I agree with you on that.
I kept on here, you know, for weeks and months when we were having this River State discussion. I kept on talking about how they had to look for a political solution and there had to be peace. I really wish that even if I don't get paid for it, although we should get paid, I wish that I could have access to someone like Governor Fubara and tell him that, look,
Uncle, you don't have sense.
This is how to play. No, that's not that's Jolupo. She's playing. Don't worry, she don't mean it like that, you know. So this is me saying that you should have played it differently, but this is what you need to do because again we need to be realistic. The people are suffering. everything you're saying here, it doesn't favor the people of Rivers State
it
in
doesn't.
any way.
So maybe it's also the reason why the president also realized, because now money is going to be released to the sole administrator. He's from Rivers State as well. He's talked about how a lot of things are going to move on quickly now. That is all really just about the people at the moment. Now, before we leave all this matter, because like I said, there are quite a number of things that I felt that we needed to unpack on this matter. I think 2 days ago when this was announced, South governors had put out a statement condemning the issues of the president's proclamation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of the South, if I'm correct, there's 6 governors, Abby.
Yeah, there should be more than 6.
There's 6.
Because Edo is a part of it.
Yeah, there's 6. It's only the northwest that there's 7. There's 6.
Yeah, there's Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Cross Rivers, and who again now? Akwa
Ibom. There's 6. Yeah. Now, 3 of these governors, the governor of Edo State, the governor, not 3 of them actually. Another governor Uzodimma of Imo State, Governor Okweholo has come out to say that
Uzodimma is Southeast.
No, that's what I'm saying. That 3 governors, one, because now it's interesting where all this conversation is going. Or before I even get to that point, a PDP governor from the Cross River, who's also from the South, has come out to say that number 1, this South statement that was put out, he was not consulted.
So he's not a signatory.
So he's not a signatory to the statement,
which means he doesn't agree with it.
He didn't say that he does not agree or does not agree. He's saying that he was not consulted. So don't put my name in what I don't know about. Does it sound like the man decided to be? Maybe he wants to be on the good side of the president. Say, you know what? I don't know anything about what you are doing. But I also feel that, how do you put people's names on something that you didn't? He said he was not even spoken to about at all.
But if you understand how these things work, at times you don't have time to consult anybody. You put it out on the assumption that this affects your region, and for that reason, you're taking this collective decision. So it's okay, but it's not smart, but it's okay. What should have happened was that those statements are supposed to be done after a meeting.
A meeting, yeah.
Not before or not when there was no meeting.
And this is interesting because now, doesn't that also kind of contradict what the Oyo State governor said? Because it looks like, according to the statement from Cross River, it's almost like they just don't want to have anything to do with this matter. Like,
but maybe
leave me and Cross River
since you're
alone.
saying that he didn't say he was against. Maybe he's had a meeting now and he's definitely a PDP governor and maybe assigned into this.
Okay, we'll see if that happens.
So,
but according to the man's statements of the government, all they're saying is, we don't know anything about it. We're not interested in this drama. Please leave us alone.
Yeah, that's the governor of
Cross River.
Okay. Yeah,
that's it.
Governor Cross River.
Is Basio too. However, he's not around. There's his deputy governor is acting at the moment and all that. Now, still talking about South governors and this statement. Governor Okweholo of Edo State has also now come out to say that he was not consulted and he agrees with what the president did. He even outrightly said he agrees.
Yeah, he's an APC person, so he definitely would line up, if not for anything, with his party people. Party loyalty in this situation. So now,
if out of 6 people, 2 people already said they don't want to have anything to do with your statement, don't you think your statement is faulty?
No, but the larger number are still agreeing of 6.
Or they've not said anything.
Yeah, but they seem to be in agreement.
Okay, now before we leave that matter, Governor Uzodimma has also of Imo State has also now said that he agrees with what the president did.
Well, now it's more like a vote of confidence. Everybody's trying to weigh in.
But like everybody's choices. Like, you know what?
And the ones who are aligning want to align. The ones who want to, stand alone or stand together in another part of the whole matter. They're doing that. Again, I would use every opportunity I get to say, can we put the people first? What is important now is that the people of Rivers State, they deserve governance. And if you look at it, it's been war, not necessarily some kind of physical war, but it's been so chaotic, and governance has taken the backseat, and I don't think it's a very good thing. So at this point, I don't know what kind of magic this administrator would do, and that I just feel that the people should be put first. That's what's important, because everybody is going to milk this situation. Just when they were voting yesterday in the House and they were deliberating about it, there was a gathering of strange bedfellows, Okay. Some politicians got together at the Yardua Center.
Oh, yeah.
And they were having a meeting and the press conference.
Press conference.
And they were, that's why I said the meeting and the press conference, and they were talking about what shouldn't happen. As at that time,
people have already voted.
There was another presidential candidate who was tweeting at, why are you tweeting at members of your party?
You should be calling them, not
Are you guys not in the same WhatsApp group? Don't you have like a WhatsApp where I say, hey guys, we need to talk?
You should actually, literally, and this is not even a joke. You probably should have a WhatsApp group.
It don't make no sense.
Why are you on Twitter?
They're tweeting then the other ones who tweeted again. I'm like, oh my God. You guys are not playing this politics thing, right?
No, it's
and
TikTok.
I think why they've done it is not because they are trying to reach those people in their parties.
It's for show, so that at least
it's called playing to the gallery.
What are you people doing?
Because they put that message out after the decision had been taken by the House.
Interesting. Anyway, before we leave the issue of the National Assembly, just now wanted to talk about the suspended senator, Senator Natasha Akute, and numerous interviews. And for people that don't know, I've seen her at BBC, I've seen her at Sky. I think the latest one she had was in Germany with Doshawala. And there's a lot of allegations being thrown around. Still, there's not been one shred of evidence that has been put forward.
Oh, there was evidence in the BBC interview.
Which was?
Said that Akpabio squeezed her hand suggestively.
No. There was an allegation made. There was no evidence. There's no video. There's no voice note.
That's evidence. You don't understand. This is the court of public opinion.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So again, now they're men.
Oh yeah, then I think
learn how not to squeeze women's hands.
I also saw that
suggestively.
She had said that he said, I think your waist will do something. Is there a voice note to that effect? No. So I just want to ask one question. These interviews, what do you think to gain from it? Because why I said so is, if you follow the news very well, it's obvious the assembly has moved on.
Not necessarily moved on.
What I mean by moved on is that there's so much happening in the House at the moment.
They've not moved on, but they're not perturbed.
There's so much happening.
By a junketing
if you think that maybe
one end of the world to the other.
These interviews are doing something maybe embarrassing. At the moment, maybe they probably have a lot more.
So when Natasha Akpoti was at Sky News, the lady actually did some balancing by asking her, like, look, you said this, but this is what the House is saying. And she pushed back again, and the lady just kept on telling her, no, but the assembly said this, and that. And the thing is, the assembly keeps harping on one thing. You were not suspended because you wrote that you were being
Which was after the fact, when we actually look at the timing.
You went to the international parliament place. You've been to 4 or 3 international media platforms, and you're actually telling lies, because they have not said that your allegations have been swept under the rug. But again, there's a quote on the BBC where she says that the assembly is like a cult. is this the same assembly you want to go back to?
So why do you want to go back there?
Be honest with yourself. I don't know who's advising you again. You have all this money, and you're playing this game wrongly.
I just see someone that is this money that you're paying all this house, because for people that do not know, it's obvious that there's a lot of money that is being paid for these interviews.
I wish
it's not organic.
I was
it's
a media
obviously not
consultant
organic
for this thing. 20% of this is it's not.
It's definitely not organic. My question still remains: instead of all this back and forth to all these media houses, who cannot really, in the real sense of it, do anything to help your case? The question is, why not go to court?
No.
You have gone everywhere else but the court.
No. So
it's
it's a strategy. It's a strategy, but I don't think it will work.
It's
but
not working.
Let's see how far she goes. It's a strategy that the suspended senator is using, and it's how a child cries with the hope that maybe that noise will have you rescind your decisions about certain things or whatever. Meanwhile, you beat the pig, you can cry. You're ready to beat him again. What I'm saying in essence is that it doesn't look like you really want justice. It just looks like you just want to embarrass them so that they can step down and do what you want based on international pressure. But in 2025, Nigeria would not bow to any of these things that you're doing, going to international media. It's not going to work. So I think you're even past someone we can advise now, Sha. No free advice for you. I just feel that you should have played it differently. But good luck in your
there's no need though, because
your media tour.
A daddy, a uncle, a friend.
Again, I'm going to reiterate that, please, if indeed the Senate president did, sexually assault you, please focus on that.
Yeah, let's go to court and let's,
please, and let's get justice.
I don't understand this drama. I don't. Maybe somebody else can explain it, but I don't understand what all this drama is going to do. But we definitely would be following that story, as we'll see where this matter is going to go to. Anyway, moving on from that, as now the federal government has now launched an electric vehicle charging station in Abuja. I hope that they do more of that. And now, moving on from that, the federal government has approved mobilization of HND graduates for NYSC.
I think that's a very good thing.
I honestly always thought that they were always went for NYSC.
No, it's been a discussion that's gone on for many years on why they had to allow them, go for this. And it's even funny how a few years ago there were announcements of how polytechnics were being upgraded to universities. Mm-hmm. And I felt it was a bad idea. Like, there's a reason why there's a monotechnic and a polytechnic and a university.
Yeah.
And let's keep it like that. But let their degrees be at par. You get? But this is them saying your degrees are at par.
At par, yeah. Yeah, I think that does that. Also now, talking about NYSC. NYSC themselves, that's the National Youth Service Corps, has now confirmed that 77,000 is now going to be paid this month.
My problem with this is, why make announcements months ahead of the actual payment? When the federal government says, "Oh, you're going to pay coppers X amount," people are expecting that money, and they don't get it, and it's wrong, and it's disheartening, especially young people who, not all of them have other means of livelihood or income. I'm telling you, it's a gap year arrangement. We get that, but the person is there physically in somebody else's backyard, and they need all the support they can get.
Yeah.
Do you know that some states give coppers as little as 1,000 naira a month?
I read that thing. I actually did read it, and I'm like,
allegedly. Because I don't want to
like
believe
that.
it.
I don't think that. I hope it's not true.
I don't want to
But
believe
we're
it.
here when a governor gave a what's it called?
Pregnant women
500 naira. Remember? Anyway, just saw a report now. Just a report where a former presidential candidate, Patu Tomi, actually made a statement, and he says he's questioning the president, saying that why didn't he declare state of emergency in Lagos over the Obasa saga? And sir, so at this point, I think that people just want to talk. And I would say this not because, so that it's not like it's sounding like I want to side in the president. But I don't think that you can say they are the same thing. This is a matter that has been going on for almost 2 years. Are we joking? The amount of court cases, people's salaries being withheld, 2 budgets being signed by 2. Nothing that happened in the House of Assembly in Lagos State affected the government.
All of these things that you have said doesn't come close to pipelines being blown.
What are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Do you understand? There were bomb blasts twice.
I think that I know that people want to like get their case done, but
it's 2 things for me.
Let's be sounding a little
it's
more
either
intelligent.
Mr. Utomi is deliberately saying these things just to say them,
Let's be a little bit.
or
Let's sound a little
is
more
working for the
intelligent.
president. I don't know. Allegedly, because honestly, the opposition needs to do more. Nigeria needs a vibrant opposition, and this is not out.
Nigeria's opposition. I'm sorry. I am sorry if this is going to sound funny, but I think it's sad. You people are just sad.
Allegedly.
No.
Yeah, allegedly
In fact,
sad.
for me to say sad, I'm keeping my
They are allegedly sad.
words to myself.
Allegedly.
Because it's not even making. See, let's call it spade a spade. It's not making sense anymore. We saw where they were.
If you don't call a spade, what would you call it? A shovel?
Maybe.
Okay.
Because while you were sitting down and you were saying, for whatever reason, in whatever capacity you thought you were, sat down and you were doing whatever world press conference, like as if it was going to change anything, like the president was going to listen to you, the House of Assembly were busy. They had already passed the rule. 1. 2, the one that was not there was busy writing threads all over Twitter when his own the assembly members in his own party were busy saying, yay. I don't understand. I don't know what you people are doing. Then you're busy opening TikTok accounts up and down. And then by the time they want to talk, they come up with very shallow conversations.
Is it your TikTok? Do you have a TikTok?
I don't.
You are jealous.
Okay. And you come up with such shallow conversations that you're like, seriously, this is how you're going to upset a government? I'm already angry. Let me just be quiet. Let's move on.
Allegedly.
I'm not allegedly angry. I'm very angry. I don't need
allegedly keeping quiet.
Leave me.
I can't leave you. I have to look out for you.
Anyway.
Allegedly.
Ogun State government has now announced that residents of Akute, Isheri, and environs need to relocate because it looks like there's going to be flooding again this year. Now, my question is, when are we going to stop these nonsense announcements every year? Where do people in this Nigeria? Where do you know that you just go to? It's like you think that people have like 7 houses. They just move from one place to another. Because I don't understand.
Well, if you don't, the water will move you. So they're telling you now. They're giving you the heads up. You know, sadly, we're in the month of March, and the rains have not really fell, or have they not really fallen. And what it is now is that there's going to be like this deluge. There's going to be this
barrage of
so people need to brace themselves for impact. There are people who have built houses or who are living in houses that were built in floodplains. But these things can still be mitigated if government can desilt and channel some of these tributaries. We know that Mother Nature has carved out some, flows But you know that with technology and a little bit of investment, these things can be
It
controlled.
can be controlled, but we're busy doing this nonsense talk up and down. Anyway, Sha, moving.
There's the talk of how Cameroon and Nigeria were supposed to have built dams at the same time. You know, that Lagdo Dam that keeps coming through. And Nigeria has not done it. So
Nothing. Anyway, moving on quickly, Supreme Court has now nullified the judgment sacking Senator Samuel Anyanwu as PDP National Secretary. Was not the person that PDP had said that is not their secretary?
yeah, so the other guy has actually been acting as the National Secretary.
So Supreme Court has spoken. Everybody go home now. Anyway, still talking about the courts, Nnamdi Kanu is back in court now. There's a new judge presiding over his case. However, also in court, through his lawyer, he's now apologized over attack on the judge and the court, saying that he was just really angry and he has been angry for a while now. That was why, for the reason for his constant outbursts.
What they need to do is to actually take this thing, to court proper. Every time they go to court, nothing really happens.
Nothing happened.
But they need to have Nnamdi Kanu's case read and, litigated and all of that so that he can put up his own defense.
Move forward.
And if the government has any evidence, that would say something contrary to what he says, they should let's just have this case. Because from the way I'm looking at it, this thing will drag to the point where there will be no court case, and sadly the man will still be locked up.
Anyway, before we go, there are quite a number of things that we would have talked about, but we don't have a lot of time. Quickly, let's do a bit of sports. Now, Japan is officially the first country to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. There are quite a number of World Cup qualifiers that is being played at the moment. One that is very interesting or that is very pertinent to most Nigerians is the one being played in Rwanda at 5 p.m. West African time today.
Nigeria has not really had good results against Rwanda. We've not beaten them in three times or so that we played against them. We've even dropped points and lost and all of that. It shouldn't be. If you look at the quality of the players in the Nigerian team, and the type of players that Rwanda has, you would think that Nigeria would just steamroll them and just get the result. But trust me, don't be fooled. If you're a Nigerian, don't get carried away with that passion. Rwanda is a tough team to play. And now we're playing them in their own country. We couldn't do anything to them when they came to ours. They did things to us, sorry. So Nigeria really, really needs to win. If we don't win this game, I think effectively our World Cup is over. And it would be sad that, we have failed in areas where we shouldn't be failing.
Okay, so we'll see what the Super Eagles will play at 5 p.m. today. Now, there's interesting news, entertainment news, as a particular man allegedly duped Netflix of about $11 million. Is said to be a renowned Hollywood director called Eric Rinch, and this person had been given $11 million for a sci-fi movie series called White Horse. However, it was said that he has diverted this money into luxury cars, cryptocurrency investments, and extravagant personal purchases.
You know what they call a White Horse project?
No, the movie itself is called White Horse.
Oh, it's White Elephant Project.
Yeah.
Yes, I correct myself. A White Elephant Project. White Horse. He called the movie White Horse, but it's a White Elephant Project. The guy knew what he was doing from the get. He had no plans to shoot any movie, allegedly. He just did what he had to do.
So,
and this is why...
This is streaming from 2018. The original budget is 44 million, but he apparently asked for
advance
of $11 million. And they're saying that up until now, there's an initial budget of $44 million. Then persuaded Netflix for an additional $11 million.
My God.
Still, not one episode has ever been completed.
But what did you really do this guy? You know, that's not like you actually could have made more money if you had shot the movie.
So it said that he bought a fleet of Rolls Royces. It has a Ferrari. It has $1.8 million.
Did he have a Lamborghini too?
Credit card payments, $3.7 million in high-end furniture and antiques.
My God.
Furniture. $933,000 on luxury mattresses and beddings.
Correct. The guy does not want to wait until he rests in peace. He wants to rest in peace every day.
He had already even sued Netflix of securing more funding.
My God, this is your scam, man. Allegedly scam. It's allegedly.
He has anyway been arrested at the moment. And,
yeah.
What is a yeah? Your yeah is very, very sarcastic.
Keep it up.
Sorry, 1 second, please. I need that cable.
She needs that cable.
Okay, it's fine.
It's fine now.
Anyway, so I thought that people that were very common with, well, it looks like the white man has made Netflix like
so what is doing now?
At this point, you get
you'll be spoiling our name.
See,
our boys are not involved though.
They are not involved. They are not involved. Anyway, Namibia is set to inaugurate its first woman president.
Fantastic news coming out of Namibia. And I pray that beyond gender, she's able to use agenda, to suit...
to do a lot of good.
The country and really make things well. So that the agenda will be that the gender doesn't matter.
Okay, so... Still talking about gender, the IOC, that's the International Olympic Committee, has officially now gotten its first woman president as well. Interesting things happening in
Congratulations to all women in sports and women in general. The IOC, if it was a country, it would be one of the biggest countries in the world, how many people they have to supervise and superintend.
And she's also the youngest person ever to be elected in that position.
And she's African.
Yeah.
Do you understand? She's African. So
yeah, she's from Zimbabwe.
To all the women, this is a big deal. And the people she went against, Seb Coe was one of them. How did she defeat Seb Coe, So I'm so happy for Africa and happy for women,
Oh, okay. Bukola Merubi says, Shy, I can't stop laughing. Okay. What part? Because you might have said something, see?
I didn't say
anything. You're right. You're right.
It wasn't me.
Right. Anyway, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an order to eliminate the U.S. Education Department.
America the Great.
That seems to have sounded funny. Anyway, sadly, Heathrow Airport also there was a fire today at the airport that caused a major power cut. It's quite a number of things. South Korea's opposition is also bringing up the motion to impeach the new acting president. They are
the other guy boxed himself into a corner. Now they have an acting president, and
they are looking to impeach.
Maybe he's not acting well. He's not acting well.
They are looking to impeach.
Maybe he needs that Hollywood director to make him act. We're talking about acting.
Yeah, I mean human being.
Acting and Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean human being.
They go side by side.
It's time. Let's be going. Anyway, on that note, that is all we're able to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again on Monday at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Bombard. Do have a beautiful, beautiful weekend ahead.
Thank you.